Previously on the Creatives of Atlanta.
Oh yeah, girl. Well, first thing first, I'm gonna start off. I actually showed up for this date occasion right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I understood. You kind of got a little stood up there a little while ago.
I did not get stood up.
Well, you want to break that down for me there? Give me little pointers on a little date when you do go on your little date or whatever. What you got to do, when you come and sit down, the man supposed to always stand up and he greets you with a hug, right?
Yes.
Right, yeah. See how I did a while ago? I gave you a little church hug, though. I have, on my little rump.
Yeah, the table was blocking.
Yeah, I ain't want to knock the table down.
Okay.
And then when he sits down, he's supposed to hold his back straight up and look at you.
Right.
Because that shows that he has confidence. Right. Now, at that point, this is where he has to make the conversation seem interesting.
This is the part that a lot of guys seem to... Okay.
And then, see if I'm looking at you right now. I'm like, Joy, that's a nice hat right there. Yeah. Girl, where you get that hat from? See, it's going to ride from there.
Right.
Because then I'm going to say, that hat don't go with a damn thing on your damn outfit. But where you get it from, though?
I don't think you're supposed to say that part.
No, you're supposed to.
Okay. Because then it could be funny.
Yeah, you gotta make it. Well, I ain't not really funny, but make it interesting. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But y'all said I was a natural.
You are a natural, but you're supposed to at least do character development. When you get your script, you take it, and you're supposed to break down the protagonist, the antagonist. Why is the character feeling this way? What am I trying to...
Back up. Antagonist and protagonist. We need to find out what that is. Antagonist. We know everybody don't. We don't want you to be lonely.
I'm not lonely.
Because talking to plants, it can only say but so much.
I do other things other than talk to my plants.
What do? You go act?
I act. I'm a part of a silent book reading club. I travel. I have friends.
Silent book reading club?
Coleman, it's amazing. So you have a book and you go to a designated place and you're with 100 other people. You mix and mingle and you sit and you read. See, the stuff that I like to do, Coleman, people would find extremely boring. But I'm fine with that, though.
Yeah, that's extremely boring.
Yeah. Hey, new beginnings on the cusp. Not too old to adjust.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. That's good. Should I take my shoes off?
You can do whatever makes you feel comfortable.
Okay.
But I'm West Indian, so.
I'll take my shoes off
Let me
at
get
home.
you some tea. Let me get you some tea.
Yes, please. Thank you.
How have you been?
I've been well. What about yourself?
Good.
So what are we drinking?
We're drinking peppermint tea.
Oh, nice.
You hurt yourself?
Should I be worried?
No. I mean, it may send you to the bathroom.
Oh.
No, you're good.
Smells good.
It's pretty good.
Oh, that's real good.
It's not too sweet, right?
What do you have in it? You put anything special?
A little sugar.
No spit. A little
today.
Miss Sugar special tea.
No sugar today.
No sugar today.
No spit.
So what's up?
Well, I'm really trying to, a little bit of everything. Just really want to get my podcast started.
Okay.
Like I told you before. So I think I really want to just start off by telling my story. And you know, my story is, and it's hard for some people. So if it's too much, let me know. So from the age of 3 to 8, I was molested by my older cousin. He was probably 16 at the time. Me and my younger cousin. But for some people, maybe they forget or don't want to remember. But me and her were both molested at the same time.
You said when you was how old?
3.
3 years old?
3 years old when I first started. He used to pick me up from preschool. At first it was nothing. And then it started off with like a kiss. And I told my mother, and I'm like, but as a 3-year-old, like I shouldn't be able to, let me find out if I could test you. But I was that 3-year-old, so I was testing my mother.
How old was your cousin?
At the time, he would have had to been, let's say he's probably like 13 or 14. So as it goes on, I just remember him at his birthday, his 16th birthday. So, like I tested my mother, I just was like, my cousin kissed me on the cheek. She was standing at her dresser, putting on her makeup, getting ready for work. No reaction, no nothing. So as a 3-year-old, I didn't feel any more comfortable. I think I needed more of a reaction for her to say, really? Why? Why did they do that? Why would he kiss you there? Was there a reason why he kissed you? Were you uncomfortable? There was none of that for me as a 3-year-old.
Well, maybe, you know, who's thinking that somebody is doing that to a 3-year-old? So, you know, I'm just playing the devil's advocate. Maybe she didn't expect anything like that coming from your cousin.
Probably, because we were so close-knit as a family. Like, everyone used to spend time. That was we all lived in a triple-decker. It was my grandmother, us, and then my aunt, and then a cousin on the bottom floor. So we all would run through everybody's apartment and play around, so we wouldn't think anything. Cousins would come over all the time, friends would come over all the time, and we wouldn't think, yeah, you're right, why would they do that? So maybe that's what she was thinking, but so I didn't take it any further with her. I didn't say anything else. It wasn't until I got to I was 8 and I was in 2nd grade, where I was like in the bathroom taking a shower, and I was like, I'm burning really bad, crying.
Oh my God.
So that's when I ended up having to go to the emergency room. Well, I went to the doctor's office and then the emergency room, because the doctor was like, yeah, someone's touching her. Take her to the ER so we can get her tested. And that's what they were doing. Got poked and prodded and all for hours. And that went on for, again, 5 years.
5 years?
5
what do
years.
you mean 5 years?
5 years.
Wait a minute, what are you saying? That went on for 5 years? He did that to you for 5 years and nobody noticed anything? Did you become quiet?
I became almost, not destructive in a way, but very bad behaved. Like, I would just, if I'm at school and a teacher was like, we're going to gym, if I didn't feel like I wanted to go to gym, I'm plotting myself down, I'm not moving, I'm not doing nothing. Think about Andrea, get up and we're going to gym, get in line. I'd be like, nope. So the teacher would be like, scoop,
excuse me,
let's go, and take me to gym class. If I didn't want to, and I'm good at sports, if I wanted to, if the gym teacher was like, okay, we're all going to do a race, if I didn't feel like I wanted to do it, I'm plopping down. Or if I caught an attitude, I'm going from 0 to 100 in no time. But it became, maybe I got kept back because of that, because my mother was like, she's just acting out too much, she's doing too much, she's not listening.
And
didn't think anything of it.
What the real purpose of it all was.
And that grows with me. Like, so me as I am now, 43, like,
so sorry.
That grows with me, that causes all sorts of issues that can affect me or have affected me throughout my life, my marriage, my family. I don't really interact too much with my family. They didn't take me saying what I said lightly. It came to a point where Duns had to call my family together, because he's like, this is getting out of control. Like, this is too much. She's like way too emotional. She blames herself for this, that, and the other thing. She takes things too hard, and she shouldn't be taking things too hard. Things that she shouldn't be arguing about, she's arguing about, because deep down inside, it's more of, what's the real problem? So the real problem is, I've been touched, and I'm now having to deal with it. My family doesn't want to hear it. I've told it to family members, and they're like, yep, whatever.
Have you been to counseling yourself?
So the only time I've been to counseling was when I was little, when it first happened. So when it first happened, I went because I wouldn't tell them who it was at all. Like, I wouldn't say, it's this cousin or that or this person. I wouldn't say anything at all. Not that they threatened me or did any of that. I just felt probably like I was gonna get in trouble. And I didn't want to get in trouble thinking it was my fault.
Right.
When in reality, it's not. I didn't do anything wrong. But as a person who's been touched, you always think it's my fault. What did I do wrong? In reality, you didn't do anything, so I wouldn't say anything for months. They'd have me go to a counselor and we'd play games. Like I would just be like, nope, I don't want to talk. Let's play Candyland. And we did that for forever.
Oh my God.
Until they was like, let's give her a teddy bear and try the teddy bear. They tried a teddy bear with me maybe like 2 or 3 times. And eventually I was like, fine. How do I write? And they was like, immediately, as soon as they was like, yep. Out for me, I spelled it on a piece of paper. As soon as I put it in a teddy bear, they snatch the teddy bear and take it out the door. And that's like some of my memories that get cut off. Like I remember them just taking it and going with it. And it's like where we found out who did it. And then that was that. And then it just went on for years. It's just me piecing things together, me just really trying to figure out who I was and healing and stuff like that. And I've learned. It's like I really just want to get the podcast started so I can teach other people. But within that takes me into other realms, relationships and everything, because I've been with Dennis for forever. So we've had to deal with this in a relationship. We've had to deal with things outside of a relationship and how I deal with it. So that's why I just want to kind of take my podcast, and it'll be included in other things. But that's like the main thing in really helping, because there's some women that go from being, you know, they may be just real quiet when this happens to them and they do nothing and they just don't want to have anything to do with sex. There's some women who could be a little outlandish and want to do tricks all over the place because they just want to be promiscuous. Right. Or there's some women who are, they just stick quiet and that's them. But yeah, that's
all I can do is smile from keep from crying. First of all, I want to say, wow, thank you for sharing your story with me. Like, unbelievable. And I really and truly hate that happened to you. It's very devastating. I'm glad that she was able to share her story with me. I mean, I know how, I know how she feels. So it was very heartbreaking. I had something similar happen to me when I was a young girl. Not young, it's 3. I think I can date back into maybe 5, kindergarten. So, I'm one of those. I'm one of those people that
block it out.
I've blocked it out for years. Just not something.
It's hard. Trust me, it's a hard subject to talk about. As much as people think it's easy to talk about, it takes a while for you to open up and say it. But it helps you to open up and say it, and you can't be afraid because it's not your fault. So whatever you feel you want to say, then you say it. What are they going to do to you?
No, I realize it's not my fault, but it's like, how do you, prey on kids? So my mom, she decides she wants to move to a different city. She makes friends with this lady. So this woman becomes her best friend. This woman has, sons, and, she has a daughter that becomes my best friend then. We're in kindergarten. So my mom back then was, a person, she was, as they say, for the streets. She was going out. So her and the woman, they were partying. I guess she was in her 20s. Young mom, so they was, she was a single mom, she was hanging out, but anyway, I was left with the big brothers, and me and my friend was left with the big brothers, and one of the big brothers, he was nasty, because that's what you are, you're nasty, so he would play with us, like do things like the first incident that, and it's inappropriate because my aunt, I remember my aunt having a talk with me and my cousin when we were younger. I mean, this happened before my aunt talked to us. But just as a 5-year-old, I knew something wasn't right. Mm-hmm. I hadn't been talked to, but I knew something. You just, in your gut feeling, know that this is not right. So he would throw us up on the bed. You throw us up and down on the bed, and one time he put his hand inside my panties and was throwing me up on. That was it for the throw me up on the bed situation. Like I didn't want to play anymore.
5?
I remember being like, I don't like you saying like bits and pieces that you remember. Like, I know that we met them when I started going to kindergarten. Now, when it started, maybe I was a little bit older, but we stayed in this particular place until I was in kindergarten to at least, I would say, first grade, maybe. Then we came home and then we moved back. So it's kind of, I would say, between kindergarten and third grade. But
That's a good time.
that's a good time. But he never penetrated me. But he would do things like pull his penis out and want me to touch his penis, or, you know, sit on his lap, just perverted stuff like that. And I used to love my friend, but I just had this feeling like I really
You're uncomfortable.
didn't want to go to their house anymore because I was scared of him. I think it was more so being scared of him. And so anyway, we finally ended up moving, and we moved back home to, you know, where my family was. And I remember my aunt having to talk. And, you know, she would, you know, always say, if somebody play in your panties, you need to let us know what's going on. So I didn't tell my aunt. I ended up telling my cousin what had went on. And she ended up telling my aunt. Now, mind you, my mom and this woman are still connected. And we are all still connected to this day. So, long story short, my mom finds out, fast forward in life, nothing happened to the guy. He's not in a place where I see him every day, but
Is he in the South with us?
Huh?
Is he in the same state?
He is in the same state, and we're connected by family. I'll just leave it like that. We're connected by family.
How often do you see this person, and when you see them, do you feel uncomfortable?
I haven't seen that person since I was in elementary school, and I had to see this person twice, I would say, in the last 3 years.
How do you feel
The
when you see
closest
them?
being last year. It was very awkward. He has a whole wife
And children?
a whole family, and I'm like, does she know?
No.
Like, and him trying to hug me, and I'm like, in my head, like I was standoffish. I'm like, do you remember? You know, because he was older than me. I don't know how much older.
Right.
I know he had to be like high school.
Right.
And I'm like, do you remember? Like, because I remember. Do you remember? So.
And you've never said anything to him. Your mother knows at this point in time, so she hasn't said anything to him. So no one said anything.
I don't know if anyone else ever said anything to him.
So that means your mother never said anything to his mother to say, you know, your son was touching my child.
Not that I know of.
So your mother's comfortable with the situation.
Well, excuse me. At that time that it was brought to her attention, she felt like it was my fault because I should have told someone. I didn't know I was a kid. I didn't know any better. And when I had to talk, it was too late. And so, fast forward, I had my daughter. I had to talk it when she was 5 years old, because that's when something happened to me when I was 5 years old. So I had to talk with her. I'm speculating between, like I said, between 5 and 5 years old in third grade, because remember, I done blocked it.
Yeah.
So, and you know, she upset at me with that.
To this day?
Now it's all pushback. Like, I think it's just, you have to learn to be strong. And I think that's one of I'm a strong person. That's the start of it.
No, you're carrying that burden. So for me, I had to do the same thing where
And she
it's like,
told my daughter, which
all
upset
my
me.
children, no. But it's not. So
It wasn't her story to tell.
That's true too. It's not her story to tell. That means she maybe has a little bit too much pride, but we don't know how she feels. And if she feels comfortable to tell the story, then she should be comfortable to tell his mother that something happened.
Well, what happened, I think, she tried to do for my daughter what she didn't do for me. Like, she started being very overprotective about, which I didn't let my daughter stay the night with anyone, but just if she seen a man and my daughter could be right there, like, she just jumped to the gun because of what happened to me. So that has always been an issue. Like, anyone I dated or, been with or whatever the case may be, that was always in the back of her mind.
Okay.
I don't want this to happen to my grandbaby, versus I couldn't be saved from it.
And that bothers you, no?
It doesn't anymore. Like I said, I have completely blocked it out of my life up until I seen that predator.
Listen, it's a bad thing with like black families because they sweep everything under the carpet. They're like, yep, whatever, you'll be all right. For me, what your mother's doing, she could still do that for you to this day, no matter how old you get. Like, she should still be protective of you because she never knows you're her child and she not push you out. And I get she has a grandchild too, and she should be protective also. But she should be open and have that conversation with you and be like, I felt like this. If she said, I felt like it was your fault, you need to explain to her why it's definitely not your fault. I'm 5 years old. What do you want me to do? And it's hard for me as a 5-year-old to know, like, should I tell my mother? Should I not? I'm a little afraid. I'm alone as a
scared.
child. Feel like I'm scared. And they don't
I
know that.
Totally what you're saying.
They're thinking of themselves like
something.
Yeah,
it's not right.
as easy as you think it is to open your mouth and say it because it's a scary situation. There's people that want to kill themselves because of this stuff. Like, there's groups that I've read and they're like, I just want to kill myself. And I'm like, I just want to be that open person where you can come and tell me whatever, because I know what it feels like. It took me forever. I've told cousins after cousins and they're like, yep, whatever. They still intermingle with this person. And for me, that bothers me because I'm like, even after I told you, do you guys not pick up the little innuendos that he's doing? Like, his hand's a little too close to your thighs, to your butt when he's hugging you. Or you come sitting on his lap. You're grown and he's grown. Why are you still doing that? Why is he allowed to have little kids sitting on his lap? I think that's inappropriate. And when you see them, like how you've like, it's uncomfortable, but nobody probably knows it's uncomfortable because in your head.
So his sister and I, we're good. I mean, we're like, she's family now. Like, she married into my family, so it's just an uncomfortable situation. And none of my, I never opened up about it. Like, none of my friends know about this. Like, I don't talk about it. I don't talk about it, never have at all. It's just like you said, it's just what black people do, sweep it up under the rug.
But then you get to suffer with it for the rest of your life, even though you said you block it out. You didn't totally block it out because you know it's still there.
Yeah.
So for black families, how they sweep it under the rug and they're like, it's just your family, go give them a hug. It's just your family, go sit next to them. I think that's so inappropriate, and I think that for the people who have to go through it, the victims, which I don't always like to call myself a victim, survivor, whatever, they don't know what it feels like. They're just like, yeah, sit down, because they don't have that feeling. So for me, it was just go hug your cousin, and that went on for years. Denzel was like, why are you hugging him? Because I've been trained to do that. Like, yep, the situation's gone, just go give him a hug, go hug up with your cousin, go play with your cousin. Like he wasn't just touching me for the last 5 years. So okay, let me just go hug him so it could happen again. Or like I'm protective of all my kids. Like, you want to go where?
Yeah, we have about that.
Because it's scary, like for me. But at the age that at 40, I actually got to sit in front of his entire family, my entire family, and explain to them, like, this is how I feel. But because I know my family's a bunch of crybabies, it was, I'm so sorry. I don't want to hear your foolery, demon, monster. I don't want to hear your story. Yeah,
stinking dog.
You knew what you did, and you was doing it for years, and God knows who else you did it to, because you did it to my cousin who's sitting across the room, and she is doing I don't remember any of that. We're the same age. He was doing it to us more than once. He did it to you. I was there the majority. Like, I lived there. You lived elsewhere. So you're telling me the 10 times that he done pulled your panties down and touched you up and said, no, you know what? You looking bigger today. You go first. You know what? No, you're smaller today.
Oh my God.
You go first. No, you know what? I need you to pee on me today. You gonna tell me you don't remember none of that? You don't remember none of that. That just totally swept your mind. It's just out your mind. But I can remember me and you, your little light-skinned self, yellow self, standing next to me, and you don't remember. But I can.
Well, I found, I know praying is a strong word, and I mean, you just bringing too many memories back for me. So
I know it's hard.
oh, you just bring girl.
I just want everyone to heal from it because it makes you who you are today. That's all. It makes you a better person. It's hard. You go through emotional issues. You go through a lot. I went through a lot.
And I think it probably has, looking at it, had me causing big trust issues for me. Now that I think about it, that probably was the start of me having trust issues. He done freaked me up.
I'm telling you, yeah.
From the beginning of time.
Yeah.
So, thank you for sharing your story with me. I know that you didn't have to. You got me over here being a big crybaby.
Girl.
So, whatever you need from me, I told you from the last time we talked, I meant that. It don't even have to be your podcast. If you just want to pick up the phone and call me. And
it's a lot.
And we help each other out with this. I'm serious. I'm right here. For real.
I got you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
How did you feel about talking about your story to Ty?
I feel good. Honestly, it helps in my healing process. It's always going to be a process. I've been healing for years, so it doesn't bother me. It actually gets other people to open up to me, to get to know who I really am and who I am as a person. So getting to talk to Ty about it and inviting her over so we could talk about it, so I could hear her story, and I loved it actually. Me and her connected more so I could know who she is as a person. And maybe if Denz is talking about a second wife or whatever he's talking about, I got to know who she really is, and maybe it's an option. Maybe not. But it was good to talk to Ty and let her know my story and who I was. So I really enjoyed having her over and letting her know what's going on.
So do you think you and Ty bonded over your story?
Absolutely. It made us closer. It allowed her to know who I am and how deep I am and who I really am and what I go through on a daily basis. So I thought it brought us closer.
How did you feel about sharing or talking about your story with Annie?
I'm very surprised at myself for even sharing something I've buried in the past, deep in the past about myself. I'm very surprised that I'm here sharing with Annie. It's something that I don't like or never talk about.
Do you think you and Annie bonded over your story?
I think sharing our stories maybe have bonded us. I think that we sharing these things, these awful things that happened between us from our childhood, we've had a little bonding time, so I think we're making progress.